Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So this is episode 2 on my series. Anyways, I just recorded my first video, which is me talking about my skin and my journey with acne and my skincare, and kind of like my tips that I have to deal with it, because it's not really an easy thing to get rid of. So anyways, my next video now that I'm recording currently is going to be my base makeup. So I'm talking foundation, I'm talking primer, powders, concealers, spot concealers, and then my video after that is going to be like my contouring, my bronzing, my blusher, and my highlighter, and then we're going to do eyebrows and so on and so on and so on. Okay, whatever. So I guess I'm just going to kind of hop into it. I don't want to make these videos too long because I know my first one was. But let's go. So in this video I'm going to be teaching you how to cover up acne and oily skin. So that's what I have. So if you're interested, please keep watching. So before I do anything, I have washed my face. I've moisturized my face twice because I like to double moisturize because I'm just that type of girl. Anyways, and I'm going to go in with a primer. So my usual primer I would use is the Benefit Professional because I do have quite large pores on my cheeks. But I am going to be going in with this one. So this is the Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser, and it kind of looks like this. So it looks like this. So it's like a gel based silicone one, and that's really good for filling in pores. So I'm just going to take a bit of that and I'm going to press it in just so that it gets into my pores. I don't put it under my eyes because I don't want to put too much product there anyways. I'm just going to talk about foundations really quickly. So the foundation I'm using today is this Catrice HD Liquid Coverage, and this is the bomb. So let me show you. This color is so not my color because it's my sister's. But it's one of these little powder things which I really love, and it's got great coverage. It's really comparable to the NYX foundation, which is also super brilliant, which I have used before. But I have a couple of other of my favorite foundations that I'm just going to go through quickly, mostly drugstore because I'm poor. So this is the Collection Lasting Perfection. This is like €6, super cheap. This color is also not my color. It's cool beige. This has great coverage. You won't need to use concealer with this if you have like spots similar to mine. Only thing is, it's really matte. So if you like a dewy face, then I have next one for you. Super duper famous. This is the Fit Me Matte and Poreless. But if you are a dewy little babe, they do a dewy version of this, which is brilliant, and I also have it for when I'm feeling like I want that real dewy realness. But this is great. I'd say it's under €10. Brilliant, gorgeous coverage. Okay, so next one up, this is the Catrice all matte foundation. Sorry, I'm trying to read it on the viewfinder and I'm blind as a shit. This is a long wearing, super long wearing foundation. Now this isn't as high coverage as the other foundations that I recommended, so I would recommend using a thicker concealer for spot concealing, but it looks really great on the rest of your skin. But it's not the most buildable, but with the concealer this is quite a lovely foundation, and again it's super cheap as well. So this is a new foundation from Rimmel. This is the Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-Hour Breathable. This is quite an interesting foundation. So let me say what I have to say about this foundation. When used with a brush, it looks really nice. When used with a sponge, I think it oxidizes and it thins out too easily. It is, I think it's really matte when it's used with a brush. But then when it's used with a sponge, it's kind of dewy. So it just depends how you apply it and how you want to apply it. It's a medium coverage. It does oxidize a little bit regardless of what you use, but I think it oxidizes more with the sponge. It's a lovely finish on the skin. It is buildable and it is quite cheap. I'm sure under €10, and it's quite nice. And the application is actually really cool on this. It's got a huge doe foot applicator. And it's quite a thin, I don't know, can you see that? It's quite thin in consistency. So this is great if you have, again, maybe redness, but it is buildable, so you can use it on top of acne. Maybe you might need a little bit of concealer. I only have one high-end foundation because I've tried a load of them and this is the only one that's really worked for me. And this is my favorite. Now it's empty because I have to repurchase it. This is the Clinique 2-in-1 foundation and concealer, and this is just incredible. like it's brilliant. It is probably one of the more cheaper high-end foundations, but it works. The coverage is unreal. I don't have to use a concealer with this. I don't have to use extra foundation. One swipe, you barely use any. I've had it since last summer, and anyone who's ever used it absolutely loves it. And it comes with like this huge doe foot applicator, and if you wanted to, you could use this for spot concealing as well, because it is a concealer 2-in-1. My favorite all-time favorite, and I never thought I would like Clinique stuff. Today I'm going to be going in with the Catrice HD because it's great coverage. So with my foundations, especially if I want like the highest coverage ever, I will start off and I will use a stippling brush to apply it all over my face, because the sponge does shear it out. So I'm going to be taking this foundation and I'm just going to give myself a little bit on my forehead because I don't need the most coverage here. And then I'm going to be giving myself a lot of foundation on my cheeks because that's where I need the most. This colour is not my colour because I stole it from my sister. So I'm just going to take my brush and just spread it out, you know. You don't have to do a great blend. And I go in circular motions. Go. You can already see the coverage is brilliant. It's covered up my skin straight away. So maybe I won't need to go in with spot concealing. I just like using the brush because it ensures that you get the best coverage. So this stippling brush I'm using is the MAC 159. There's better and cheaper brushes out there. So for this I will be using a damp Original Beauty blender. Now you can also use a Real Technique sponge. They're gorgeous. So when I do this with a sponge, I just take a little bit of extra foundation on the back of my hand, just so we're not going to be losing too much foundation from the skin. So I just go in and I just kind of smooth everything down, you know, because the brush will leave a few lines, and it also will pick up any extra foundation that might make you look a bit kicky. Don't forget your chins. Okay, I'm gonna put some on my eyelids. You take a look at the skin. It did a pretty good job of covering it up, so you can slightly see my acne just kind of peeking through. So because you can still see my acne, I want to use a thick cream concealer. So this is my favorite cream concealer. This is the MAC Studio Finish Concealer, and this is in NW25. Now it's very, very dark, so, and that's why I'm using a darker foundation. This is the best concealer I've ever used for spot concealing. So I just kind of warm it up, I run my finger around it, and I take a bit of product. Then I just place it where I need it with my finger. And as you can see, it's kind of, it just totally got rid of it. And the reason I'm using my finger is because this is a really thick product, and it's where I have a lot of pores and huge pores. So I need to get it into my pores so it's not looking like holy, you know what I mean? Like, that's it, it's gone. And I'm really happy with that coverage. So this is my base so far. You should be pretty happy with your coverage. So next up I'm going to be highlighting, and for today what I will be using is the Maybelline Master Conceal. I want to try and like mix up some high-end and some drugstore. This is a brilliant, probably my favorite drugstore concealer. So it just comes out, looks a little bit like this, and I'm just going to take my sponge. But first I'm just going to take my finger and place it wherever I want it and just spread it out a little bit. A little goes a long way. And a little bit on my forehead. Because I've got a big forehead, I don't want to be bringing too much light to it, so that's kind of pretty much all I want. So I'm going to take my wet beauty blender and I'm going to start blending in everything. Now you could use a brush, but I feel like sponges just really blend it in, and like it blends it perfectly into the foundation, so it just looks like you're lit from within. So there we go. Just make sure there's no harsh edges anywhere. And again, you don't have to do like on your top lip or anything, but I just feel like it brings light to the middle of my face. And go up as far as you possibly can without getting it into your actual eyeball. And I bring it over and out. And then I close my eye and I bring it onto my eyelid. So when you set this with the powder, that's your eyelids primed. So you don't need to have a separate primer for your eyes. And as well, when you're highlighting, don't pull it down so far. Keep it where you've highlighted, because then you're going to be losing dimension in your face. So just keep it right there and blend it into itself. Don't pull it all the way down, don't pull it up on top of your nose. You want to keep this dark line in your nose because it's like a contour without contouring it. I'm going to take what's left and I'm going to conceal right here with a lighter product. Now, I got this from Drag Queens and they know what they're doing. So just do it above your jawline, but like under where you would contour. Take your sponge again and just blend it out. Make sure it's totally blended. Now what this does, it nearly does a bit of contouring before I even go into contouring. So it'll make the contour and the bronze stand out way more. If you're someone who suffers from acne on this part of their face, it's a great way to add just a little bit more of coverage if you want to. So you gotta be kind of looking like a digestive rich tea biscuit. Okay, so for setting under my eyes, I'm going to be using a transparent loose powder because I feel like this really sets your eyes. And for this I'm going to be using the Rimmel Match Perfection. It's this one. It comes in a pot with a blue lid. And the powder looks like this, if you can see. It's not totally white, it has a teens of a pink tint on it. This is easily the best drugstore loose setting powder I've ever used. I've used Maybelline one, I haven't liked it, but a lot of people have liked it. Take your sponge. Yes, it's wet. Yes, it sounds like it's not going to work. But take the sponge you've been using for your foundation, your concealer and everything and just dip it in like so. And get like a good even coverage like this. Really important. Hold your sponge and take yourself your finger. Go in and double check that there's no creasing going on. And do it on your upper lid too. Do one eye at a time. Okay, we're all blended. And then take your sponge and go straight in. Open your eyes as wide as possible. Get rid of those white wrinkles. And just press it in. Can you see what I'm doing? Press it, press it, press it, press it, press it. Take what's left and set your eyelid. And then that's your eyelid primed for your eyeshadow. So take it, take it, take it. I like to press it in quite a bit. This may seem like a lot of powder, but it's just going to set your under eye so it looks like fresh, open, and it's like a good look. Take that sponge and that powder again, and you're going to set this powder where you put that really light highlight because it's going to keep your face looking light as well. On your chin, upper lip. I do my upper lip quite a lot because I tend to get like kind of sweaty. My nose, I do around my nose because I wear glasses, so it helps getting that like goopy makeup around my glasses. And then I'm just going to set a little bit of my forehead. There we go. And you can do the little bit that you did down here too if you wanted to. Not too important because I don't think you get too greasy there. And just blend in the rest. You should be happily set. But just in case you have excess, just take a little brush and don't scrub it in because then you'll be moving what you put underneath it. So you're set, you're highlighted, but you still need to set the rest of your face, especially if you're greasy like me. Trust me, this is the Maybelline, what is it? I don't know what it is because my sister took the bloody thing off it. But it looks like this, and it's a skin color powder. So you get a powder that's your skin color. And take that same sponge. I know it's like, wow, do you even need, this is the great part about my makeup routine. You literally just need like one sponge. So it's on the sponge and I just lightly kind of set and pounce the rest of my face. I don't know, nothing too crazy. If you want to, you can run the brush over it, but I find when you do it like this, it doesn't leave you looking too you know, powdery. Do you know when you kind of look at somebody with powder on and you're like, wow, you're really powdered? So this is like a really good tip to not have that, but you're also set and you're fine. And do bring it down your neck, don't be afraid. Use a bit more powder if you have to. If you don't have to, don't do it. For me, this is like a perfect base. I love it. I'm really happy. My spots are concealed, I'm matte, and I'm ready to go. So that's how I do my base for acne prone skin, oily skin. I hope you enjoyed it, and the next video I'm going to be doing straight away is going to be my contouring, bronzing and blush. So I hope you join me, and I hope these videos aren't too long and they're kind of educational. Yeah, I'm just kind of going on now, so I'm going to go and I'm going to get started on the next video straight away. Okay? Okay, I'm going to go. Okay, bye guys. Bye. 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 Bye.